What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I'm going to be talking about Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. I think it's a dumb fight to make, and I think there's better ideas to make to start off with. And if both of these guys can win their next fight or have a more logical fight next, okay, let's put them together. Let's have a fight, you know what I'm saying? But as for right now, I think it's a really dumb idea. I mean, they're talking about fighting at middleweight, talking about fighting at welterweight. It just sounds very unserious, but I also think it's just unrealistic and unfair. That's a lot of use. That's a lot of use, like a YouTube. Trust, all right? Think about it like this, dude. Conor McGregor broke his fucking leg 2 years ago, 3 years ago now almost, right? Fought Dustin Poirier, lost twice, right? The second one shouldn't really be counted as a loss, but the injury was so brutal that he's taken this much time to come back. Why is he expected to fight a top 5 lightweight? Like that, like what the fuck sense does that make? I feel like you don't see that in any other combat sport where a guy is out for, 3 years with a gruesome injury like that. Like Chris Weidman, we didn't bring him back and go, all right, Weidman, you got to take out fucking Alex Pereira now, buddy. Get back to the rankings. Like, that's not how it works, okay? It's just not how it fucking works. So today I've got fights that the UFC should make instead. And then if both these guys win, they can fight each other. And I've got options if one of them loses or whatever. But yeah, I just think it's a really, really dumb idea. So let's talk about this fight first. Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. You're talking about a guy that's coming off a gruesome injury and a loss and a 3-year layoff versus a guy that's ranked number 5 that's been fighting pretty consistently except for last year. It just makes no fucking sense. The weight class doesn't make sense. It's a pretty bad mismatch in my opinion right now. I do think Conor McGregor could beat Michael Chandler stylistically. I do think he could come back and get to a good level, but it's not going to be in his first fight back. So I think what you should do instead is you should do Conor McGregor versus Paddy Pimblett as his comeback fight, because Paddy Pimblett's been active, but he's also coming off a bit of an injury. He just got back into the game as well. He's not ranked. He's right outside the rankings, so it's a good test for Conor McGregor. He's a big name as well. That's another thing. Like, I can't just be like, all right, do Conor McGregor versus fucking Mike Breeden to give him a comeback. Like, it's not how it works. There has to be some sort of name value here, and I think Paddy Pimblett has name value. You look at the YouTube numbers for UFC 296. Mate, I swear to fucking God, lad, he fucking pulled more views than fucking Leon and Colby, lad. I swear to God, he actually pulled more views than Leon and Colby the entire week. So Paddy Pimblett is a big deal. I know people don't like him. I don't really get why. I'm going to be honest. I know the Jared Gordon fight was kind of cringe, but we all don't like Ariel Helwani either. So I don't really know why we all hate Paddy Pimblett. I kind of like him. I think he's a pretty chill dude. I don't know, man. I just think that's weird, the amount of hatred he gets. He's not Dagestani, guys. We can kind of let him slide, you know? But I think Paddy versus Conor would be a huge deal. I think this would get mainstream attention, first and foremost. I think the press conference would be crazy entertaining as well. You know, Paddy would be mate, I swear to God, I'm going to take a sloppy shit on you after I break your fucking leg, lad. Conor's gonna be like, mate, sit the fuck down, shut your mouth, you fucking fool, you fucking bobblehead, stupid fucking thing, mate, shut your mouth. I just think it'd be a fire fucking press conference. That's number one. But also, it's a good test. Paddy Pimblett's got really good grappling, he's got good kicks, and those have been kind of the weaknesses of Conor McGregor, is getting leg kicked, getting wrestled, getting taken down, getting submitted. So I think it's a pretty good matchup that is very winnable for Conor McGregor, because Paddy Pimblett's defense to the boxing is terrible. His chin is up, his hands are down. He's very, very there to be hit by Conor McGregor. And I do think Conor would win this fight, to be honest. But if he lost, we know straight away, okay, this Chandler fight's a dumb idea. We're not doing it. It's never going to happen, right? It just makes no sense. If he loses to Paddy Pimblett, I think good options for a bounce back fight from that would be obviously Tony Ferguson. I don't want to see that, but the UFC could do that. I think Nate Diaz is a very good choice, regardless of what happens to Conor McGregor. If he ever loses and it's like, okay, he's not going to beat anybody else, give him Nate Diaz, do the trilogy. That's an easy fight that will always sell pay-per-views. Okay, so Nate Diaz is a good option. I also think Jim Miller is a good option. I think that's a pretty fair fight to give him if he loses to Paddy Pimblett. But yeah, he definitely has options with some sort of name value if he loses this fight, but I do think this is a big enough name for him to come back against that's winnable and acts as like an actual bounce back and gets him back in the good books. If he KOs Paddy Pimblett, people are going to be happy about it. People are going to be celebrating. And I think this would be a really good comeback fight. And in the meantime, because Michael Chandler, see you at the top. This guy's been waiting around for fucking 3 years to fight Conor McGregor. That's tough. If he's not going to fight Conor, I think he should get a fight down the rankings. Realistically, I think he should be fighting in the top 15, but he shouldn't be fighting up. I don't like the idea of like, oh, fuck it, do a Gaethje rematch, do a, you know, Fiziev fight. Nah, dude. I reckon Michael Chandler versus RDA, winner gets to fight Conor McGregor. That makes a lot more sense than what they're doing with RDA right now. I don't know why the fuck he's fighting Gamrot. I literally, I don't understand why he's fighting Gamrot. He hasn't fought at lightweight since he lost to Fiziev. And he just lost to Vicente Luque, who's like top 10 at welterweight. He's not even like a top contender at welterweight. What the fuck are we? Why are you getting to fight Gamrot, who's like number 6? This makes no sense whatsoever. I feel like number 5 Chandler versus number 11 RDA. Both of these guys coming off some wins and some losses in their last couple of fights. 2 exciting kind of legends of the game. Makes a lot more sense. Pretty fun fight as well. This could be the co-main event to a pay-per-view. This could be featured on a pay-per-view as a big fight and sell some pay-per-views. And like I said, the winner gets to fight Conor McGregor, or maybe the loser gets to fight Conor McGregor. Because if Chandler loses to RDA, Conor will go, yeah, now I'll fucking fight you, you little fool of a thing. You know, that would be the perfect time for Conor to clutch up and get Chandler at his lowest, you know, just like he always does. So I'm just thinking smart for Conor here. He can cherry pick the loser of this and then fight the winner as well when they lose their title shot. So realistically, I feel like these are much better fights to make than the idea of Chandler versus McGregor, because yes, it is an exciting matchup, but like, is it really as big of a deal that we have to make it happen? You know, it's not like a McGregor versus Oliveira. It's not like a McGregor versus Makhachev where it's like, dude, this would sell 1 billion pay-per-views. Like, we got to make this happen. Like, if Conor was in a position to fight those fights, I would understand the UFC being like, nah, fuck everything else. We're going to make this happen. But dude, Chandler, McGregor, and they're both coming off losses. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's not as big of a deal as they think it is. I don't know if it's as big of a pay-per-view fight as people think it will be. And honestly, I don't even know if the fight is as entertaining as people think it will be, because either Conor McGregor destroys Michael Chandler in a round, or Michael Chandler loses to Conor McGregor for a round and then randomly KOs him. You know what I'm saying, dude? So it's not really that big of a deal, in my opinion, to where we have to make this fight. I feel like Chandler versus RDA makes more sense. Still a very entertaining fight. Still going to sell some pay-per-views. And Conor versus Paddy, that might be a bigger deal than Chandler versus McGregor. I don't know if I'm tripping or what, bro. I feel like that might be a bigger deal. That might do more pay-per-view like business than Chandler versus fucking RDA, because people know Chandler, but they only know Chandler because they know that he's the guy that's supposed to be fighting Conor next. You know, in terms of a casual fan base, like the hardcores obviously know Chandler. But I feel like the general public, if they hear about Michael Chandler, it's gonna be from hearing about him fighting Conor. Whereas Paddy Pimblett, there are casual people out there that know about Paddy Pimblett. There are casuals out there that see him in memes and Instagram and YouTube and shit like that. So I feel like Conor McGregor versus Paddy Pimblett makes more sense. Better fight, good test for Conor McGregor still, not a complete can for him to fight. Makes sense for Paddy as well. He needs a big fight. He just beat Tony Ferguson. He's on a 5-fight winning streak. I feel like this makes a lot more sense and is a better fight overall and bigger business. So Dana White, I know you watching my channel. I know you copy everything I fucking do. Listen up, buddy. Make Chandler versus RDA. Scrap that Gamrot fight. Give Gamrot a #1 contendership fight. You know, Gamer Army rise up. Scamrot's getting the belt in 2024. Boys, get used to it. Do Chandler versus RDA at UFC 299. That would be fucking lit. Or 300. Chandler versus RDA would be awesome. Okay. And do Conor McGregor versus Paddy Pimblett in Dublin or in the UK on a pay-per-view. Boom, you're fucking welcome, all right, boys? So these are my thoughts on McGregor versus Chandler and the fights you should do instead. Let me know what you guys think of this whole thing down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on the gram at Bedtime MMA. I will see you in the next video, boys. Goodbye.